Hi. Um, Prime Minister Medvedev, after the press conference of President Putin, had resigned, and after a week, we are seeing that a new cabinet is formed in Russia. And we waited a little bit longer because we want to understand the composition of the cabinet, and we believe that it's going to give us a clear direction what Russians are considering. Of course, President Putin's press conference was a big shock and surprise to the world, because really he was talking too many things. But now we are seeing how the cabinet is formed, and with the statements from Putin, something took our attention there. And we see this new government and the new structure, and they are going to deal with the old problems in Russia. However, the real story we think is different. So let's start. New government, old Russia, old problems, new structure. Yes, Prime Minister Medvedev has resigned. In a week, there is now a new cabinet. Mikhail Mishustin is now in charge of the new cabinet as a Prime Minister. Now, what we are seeing here, a very important figure in this new cabinet, and his name is Andrei Blyashko. Now he's going to be the first deputy prime minister, and he's going to take it from the Maxim Reshetnikov, who was the deputy. Now he's going to be the economic minister, economic development minister. Now, Blyashko is a very important figure in the Russian policy. He was the consultant to the president in the economic affairs, and he is always claiming that Russia should go for a monetary expansion program, I will say. And what does it mean? Now, let's put a comma there and let's go back to Putin's statements, because they are in line. Putin, at the end of, or through the end of his statement, that the Russians should have a new kind of structure, and he is going to not run for another presidency after 2024, and for that there will be an election in 2021. He said that the demographic problem is a great concern to Russia, because it is coming down in terms of population, and this is a security threat for Russia. He implied that, really. And he's right in that regard, because we know that the demographic structure of Russian population is coming down, and the Rosstat, which is the Russian statistics institution, is showing in the best case that in between 2035 to 2040s, the Russian population will be like 10 to 15 million down as of today, which is around 140 to 135 million. It will be. After 1 decade, this is going to be the 11th year, the Russian death rate is greater than the birth rate, meaning the Russian population really dropped. There are a lot of reasons for that. First of all, the Second World War have caused a great damage in the demographic structure on the Russian community. On the other hand, after the dissolving, or the USSR has dissolved in 1990s, there have been a great economic depression in Russia, which caused a great stress on the people. The idea of the youngsters have changed, because they don't have money, because there are no, work, and mostly they are unemployment. So they are thinking, why I am going to give to my own child a life without a future? So most of them, they do not get married. The clever ones, or the ones who can be able to have a great education, are leaving the country. They are immigrating to another countries, especially to Eastern, Western countries, United States and European countries mostly. And that means Russia, if all these statistics also shows the real picture, is going to lose power in coming decades, which is like 2030s to 2040s. Because the population is coming down, the economy is coming down, it means the military will be coming down, and Russia will be exposed to more external threats than ever. And Russia is, that's what we are feeling, is aware of this, and they want to delay this, or at least they want to minimize this security threat to Russia. And they decide to act now, which I have to say I respect that idea. And it should be, all the credit should be given to President Putin. I think he's a very clever guy. And what the Russians are thinking is that Bolosho is an important figure, as I said, in the president's consultant team, especially on the economic expansion programs. We believe that because there will be an election on 2021, which means almost 1 year and 1.5 years from now on, Russia will start expanding the economy by going or printing ruble and then distributing to the market, so that the people will get this easy money. And they will use a lot of economic means to distribute this wealth to the people, because they realize that, the Russian elites realize that they are getting too many money from the country, and the Russian peoples, especially the youngsters, are leaving the country because the death rate is now becoming greater than the birth rate, is showing that the youngsters are leaving the country. The Rosstat, which is the Russian statistics institution, is claiming that in between 35 to 40 and 35 to 2040s, the population mean is going to be in between 40 to 45. It's a great disadvantage for not only Russians but any nations who might have these kind of means. And this is, as we said, also there's a great effect due to the World War. A lot of people have lost their souls over there during the war. And also the economic crisis starting by 90s, the dissolution of the Soviet regime, including the afterwards crisis, also demoralize and stress the people living in the region, especially the youngsters who might or could be able to have a good education, are now immigrating to the other countries, whereas the ones staying in Russians are really hopeless. They do not believe that they have a good life ahead, and they do not try to set up a family. The marriage numbers are getting down and down each time. This is very important for Russia, and now they are aware this. Bolosho is going to stress to new Prime Minister Mikhail Mushitin, and they are going to start expand the economic or the financial program. Through that, the Russians are going to get easy money, which is going to make them feel that they are their quality of life is getting up. Why? Because it's important to get the votes, the electors of the constituents in 2021. Despite you might be Putin or anyone, all the elites or the political elites are aware that unless you are making your constituents happy, you have no chance to be elected again. There are a lot of examples in the last decades, or since, I will say, 1970s up until today, that people who are strong as Putin had lost the elections due to that reason. And Putin is also aware that. That's why we strongly believe that Boloshenko is going to start a expansion program, monetary expansion program in Russia, while he is going to also try to fix all the regulations where Russia will attract foreign investors, because Russia is now already aware that this shows that all these statements, all these policies, all they show that in the long term these sanctions are going to take place. The Russian demographic structure is going to create a big obstacle for the Russian elites to remain intact against, let's say, Europeans and Americans. Therefore, Russia has to solve the problems, and they are aware of it. So I am expecting that in before 25 to at most 2030s, somehow the Russians will get to a point with Americans and with Ukrainians and with the Europeans even, where they might create a balance, mutual understanding. Somehow they have to agree something else. Otherwise, Europeans and Americans will basically sit on the chair tight and put their arms aside and say, we will see what will happen to you. We know because. And now Russians understand this. That's why this new government only implies that Russia is getting the seriousness of the problem and try to extend, if not extend, a little bit delay or postpone the problems ahead, while they are trying to find a permanent solution for these problems. If you like this video, please, there's a like button under the screen. Please press on it. And also, if you subscribe to our channel, we will appreciate a lot. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Bye.